Hi folks, I want to talk to you today about the bill in Congress being proposed by AARL. It's HR-1301, and HR-1301, if it passes, would basically tell the FCC that they have to impose the same rules on HOAs that they impose on businesses, meaning that ham radio operators would not be prohibited from putting up antennas with reasonable accommodation. What's a reasonable accommodation? Well, let's see, in my neighborhood, putting up a 300-foot tower would be ridiculous. So that's not what a reasonable accommodation is. However, being able to put up a dual band antenna on the side of my house would be a reasonable accommodation. Maybe a small 30-foot pole with an HF antenna on it would be a reasonable accommodation. There's a lot of debate between ham radio operators on this subject. On one hand, you've got the people that live in HOAs and they want this bill. They want to be able to put up their antennas and operate their stations more efficiently. On the other hand, you have the people who don't live in HOAs and say, well, it's your tough business because you bought a house in an HOA. Why do we care about you? Well, there's a couple of reasons why everybody needs to be concerned about this, and I want to briefly go over that. The first and foremost reason is, I believe in our country today, we are passing so many laws that restrict the individual's rights, your rights, and give those rights to businesses, big businesses. Now, this particular situation, we're talking about antennas. So me as a homeowner, an individual person, I have no one behind me giving me the helping me change the laws to allow me to put up an antenna. However, the dish/satellite companies, they have huge amounts of money. They lobby the government. They have already passed a law a long time ago prohibiting HOAs from restricting their antennas. Now, what is the difference between a dish and a dual band or an HF antenna? They're still antennas. But my point is, the big businesses that have the ton of money to put behind lobbying have already done this. This is nothing new. So don't feel like this bill is infringing upon the rights of some crazy HOA restriction. It's not. That's already been done by the businesses, and I'm going to show you here an example of that real quick. But the other reason you should stand behind it, even if you don't live in an HOA, is for your ham buddies. They're your buddies. They're your ham folk. You know, they're amateur radio operators just like you. Support the bill to help them. Now, I want to show you something here. This is going to be interesting for you. Well, maybe not, but let me show you something. Okay, so I'm standing here on my front balcony here, and I'm just going to scan here, and I'm going to show you. Well, yeah, there's a dish right there. May not see it, but there's one up there right in that area. Oh, look, there's another one. Let's just scan around. Here's another dish right there. Look at that dish. Maybe. Oh, there's one there for sure. Let's get back over here. See, back over here, there's some back in this area. Dish antennas are everywhere. So, as you can see, the big guy has already made their mark in the HOA world. It's time for the little guy to make his mark in the HOA world. Support this bill for two reasons. Give back some control to the little guy, help your ham buddies. Now, I live in an HOA. It's not a huge problem for me because I have found stealthy ways around that. And I promise to show you my stealth HF antenna in another video. I've already shown you my stealth UHF VHF antenna, but I'll show you my stealth HF antenna in another video. And you can I have to admit it, you can do HF and you can make contacts around the world in an HOA with a stealth antenna. But help your ham buddies out, support this bill. And I encourage you, if you support this bill, share the video with others. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.